Just 70 kilometres from Melbourne, buried within a national park, not marked on any official maps, absent from government records and hidden in plain sight, lies a structure that has spawned theories of Cold War paranoia to a hidden government building and everything in between. This is the untold story of the Cape Schanck bunker. The Cape Schanck Lighthouse is located 70 kilometres from Melbourne, a beautiful, silent tourist attraction on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, Australia. The lighthouse is situated on top of 80-metre rocky cliffs, surrounded by the dramatic waters of the Bass Strait. The lighthouse was constructed in 1857 and has been ensuring the safe passage of ships since 1859. 1871, a telegram cable was laid to connect Victoria to Tasmania. It's a part of the Mornington Peninsula National Park, which has an area of 2,680 hectares. The national park itself is quite beautiful. There's bushwalks, hikes, waterfalls, scenic lookouts, and of course, secrets. One of those secrets is 700 metres down the road from the Cape Schanck Lighthouse. There, hidden behind thick bush, is an unusual structure. The locals named it the Cape Schanck bunker. It isn't listed on government records or any official maps. There isn't signage about it either. The structure sits 11 metres from the old Cape Schanck Road. When I went down there to collect footage, it was quite hard to see the opening. A few years ago I did go down there and it was much more visible. However, over time the bush has just thickened with growth and hidden the entrance. On my trips down to collect footage, during the night time as well, it is quite intimidating. I should also note that down at the Cape Schanck Lighthouse and down that way, there is absolutely no phone service. FM radio cuts out down there. You can barely get a signal. So you're down there, no cell phone service, pitch black, in thick bush, and you stumble across this unusual abandoned building. And I wanted to explore some of the ideas of what this could be. Now, the building itself isn't quite large. From the floor inside the chamber to the roof is 2.8 metres. Inside the chamber is 5.8 by 5.6 metres. Inside the chamber is a small encased room, a broom shed. There's two wide openings that appear to be a window, metal framework that could have been used for a table or a bed, a pipe leading into the ground, a gas pipe by the appearance. Around the walls there are small openings in the roof, multiple latches and some pipes. Just sits below the ground level. Metal framework for a window is just flush with outside ground level. One of the entrances to it has a thick industrial grade door with very unusual symbols. Now, these could have been decorational purposes, or they could mean something more sinister. Outside the bunker is a large clearing surrounded by thick bush. So, what is this unusual bunker down in Cape Schanck? And I really wanted to explore some theories about what it may or may not be. One of those theories stems from Cold War paranoia. After the Second World War and after we witnessed the destructions and horrors of war, Soviet Union and America had tensions, created arm races. We redefined our nuclear arms to apocalyptic levels of destruction. We had wars, Korean and Vietnam, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So we have all this public paranoia and anxiety. So why wouldn't you build a bunker? You can ensure the safety of you and your loved ones in the comfort of your own home or a mad place to escape to in case of war. Now, I don't reckon this is a bunker, because with bunkers, you want it to be secure, you want to be underground, undetectable, and hidden. Whereas this is 11 metres from the road, it's not secure at all. It's barely in the ground. It has too many openings on the roof and surroundings for it to be secure. So if it's not a bunker, if isn't Cold War paranoia that drove someone to build this, could it have something more sinister to it? Could it have some occult meaning? The symbols on the door were strange. A triangle, a heart, and a crescent. And this is where I uncovered a bit of a rabbit hole. I wasn't expecting to come up with anything cult related to the Mornington Peninsula. However, I found two cults. Both of these cults are alleged. One of these is a American-born yoga guru down in Mount Eliza. The American-born yoga guru had some sexual allegations made against him, with his victims calling him a narcissist and an overall bad person. Now, I don't think this American yoga guru has anything to do with this bunker. However, the second result was from a Reddit post, and I really want to do a deep dive into this group. They're called the Sphinx Spiritual Training Group. It was founded by Ian and Pearl Rogers, which are two international mediums based in Mornington. They offer traineeship in mediumship, spiritual surgery, spiritual counseling, and Hahnemann healing. They have multiple businesses connected to them or the group. They also hold international conferences where the attendees can stay with the group. Now, this sounds all fine and dandy. It sounds like typical spiritual, lyrical, miracle people. What does this have to do with a occult? So there are claims about this group that they prey on vulnerable individuals and they lure them into the organization, exploiting their trauma, isolating the individuals from families. There's also claims that individuals join this group, change their name, split from their family, and take their kids to move closer to the group in Mornington. When these claims were raised in a public forum, alleged members from the Sphinx Spiritual Group, they doxed the concerned individuals who raised this to public attention. Now, this group absolutely deserves a deep dive. However, I think they're too far out of the ballpark to be related to a random structure in Cape Schanck. The symbols, they could have occult nature. We could link the Sphinx Spiritual Group and the bunker symbols used in ancient Egypt. It just sounds too much of a cooker idea to even consider. Speaking about cookers, what about Harold Holt? Harold Holt, for those who don't know, was a Prime Minister who went missing on the 17th of December 1967 while swimming at Sheraton Beach, Victoria. Where is this beach? It is 27.5 kilometers from the bunker in Fort Nepean. Now, could the Australian Prime Minister fake his death and use this bunker for a hideout? But this theory is too far-fetched. And sadly, the stories we tell ourselves are more entertaining than reality. The truth of the Cape Schanck bunker is it isn't a bunker at all. It's the abandoned home of Australian sculptor and artist Trevor Prest. He was born in South Wales in 1945 at the end of the Second World War. He migrated to Australia in 1961. He was conscripted into the Australian Army but protested the Australian Army involvement in Vietnam. So much so he actually got fined for it while he was in art school. In the 70s, he purchased the location of the Cape Schanck bunker, buying bricks from a classmate and bringing them down on the back of a motorbike from Melbourne. He dug out the area and built it all by hand. First, it started off as a small brick room, which I think is where the broom closet is. After the bricks were laid, he brought down the central pipe that incorporates the stairwell from Melbourne. The symbols on the door don't actually mean anything sinister that I could find. They're purely for artistic expressions. On top of the staircase as well, you would have been able to climb the top of the cylinder and look over the trees. The house held a gas stove, a bath, a shower, and a water tank surrounded by stone, which is no longer visible. It was warm and insulated with no flooding from the rain. So here's where it gets interesting. Trevor Prest didn't actually get a permit for building. The local council discovers the illegal building. They send out an inspector who ensured Trevor that he could actually get him a permit. Some time goes by and the inspector comes back and informs Trevor that he can't actually give him a permit for the building. So after a discussion between Trevor and the inspector then chose to re-examine the site and declare that no building was actually there. Therefore, informing the council that building doesn't exist there. Trevor sold the property on October 1st, 1981 for $11,000. The area in the 1980s was being built up. As a result, the house got vandalized and broken into. In 1987, it was reclassified as Crown land. Later on in its life, it became part of the Mornington Peninsula National Park. Over the next 40 years, its meaning as a home was lost to time, and the mystery of the Cape Schanck bunker was born, forever left to become a part of nature again, hiding in plain sight. Now, if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you have any feedback, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Good night.